Hi everybody, this is Tanya from Move Your Body Online, and today we're going to do 5 basic moves that are fundamental to learn how to engage your core. So let's get started. So coming down onto your back, even after all my years of teaching, I still like to come back to the basics because when you get into more complicated exercises, it's great to have these fundamentals. So hips, knees, toes apart. And just let your body release, relax, and just notice where it feels on the floor. Do you feel level one hip to the other? Just take note of this. Now, what we want to do is a couple of exercises first is just breathe into the belly. So put your hands on the belly, breathing in and out of the nose, breathe into the belly. See how high you can lift your hands. And exhale. And one more time, focusing on the inhale. Now this time when you exhale, I want you to squeeze your stomach small. So we're going to inhale. Then as you exhale through your nose, squeeze your stomach small. Think of your belly button like a drain and everything's going down that belly button. Now you might find you engage through the rectum, your lower back, and that's great. We're going to talk about that next. Let's do one more breath in. And then exhale, squeeze your stomach small. Feel everything going towards the belly button, going down the drain. And release. Okay, so you probably felt some of the things we're going to work for the next move here. And that is a Kegel. So just focusing around the perineum and squeezing. I like to think, I know this might sound gross, but of a sausage, and I'm squeezing around the whole sausage and then pulling it up. So really engaging left to right, top to bottom, and breathing at the same time. So this might take a while, or you might be a pro and already have this mastered. And I like to just make sure that I can get all the way around, feel that circular opening, and really squeeze every little bit around there. Good. And then we're going to go into the rectum, the anus. And what I want you to do is, without squeezing your bum, squeeze through the rectum. And you might feel this coming to the lower back. And this, again, can take a while. No leg, no bum. And again, this might sound a little weird, but these are things that help me. Just think of that you don't want to toot in public, and you got to hold it in, or maybe you have to do a poopers. And you want to tighten through this rectum and strengthen it. And you're going to feel that come up and down your lower back. So when these muscles are weak, we end up getting into some lower back pain. So we want to strengthen them. Okay, so we could spend time going left, right, down, center, but we'll get more into that in another video. So basically what you're going to do here is you're going to exhale all that air out of the belly, push the lower back into the floor, and then inhale and lengthen. Now, I know this move looks pretty simple, so it's basically just rolling that lower back into the floor and then lengthening. But now I want you to add your breath and also the squeezing. So squeezing through, like with the Kegel, and into the rectum and pushing that lower back into the floor while relaxing everything else in your body. And then lengthen. So when we have these basics, it makes us stronger to do planks and other core exercises. So I know sometimes the fundamentals, the foundation can be kind of boring, but trust me, stick with me and you will get much stronger abs and decrease your chance of injury. So we're just going to do one more here where we're going to roll that lower back into the floor, squeezing the sausage, feeling everything drain down through the belly button, and release. Good. Now, the next one is stay nice and rooted through the core. You're going to lift your legs up to tabletop. So this is where you want to make sure your back does not arch. arch. So we're going to start nice and simply here, and then we can add on in another video. So through here, you want to squeeze the rectum, squeeze through that floor, and you can even push your lower back into the floor, and you're slowly going to drop one heel to the floor and then back up, the other heel to the floor and back up. Now, your legs are the weights, so it's not a fast exercise here. This is wrong, and I'm dumping into my hips. So you want to squeeze the core to bring that leg back up. So down slowly and squeeze the core to bring that leg back up. So a lot of times we think we have to crunch to get strong abs, but we actually don't want to be crunching. These exercises I'm showing you are much better at strengthening your core, because if we keep crunching, or curling forward, we're just adding to that already forwardness of our day. And I'll demonstrate at the very end so you can know what I'm talking about here. So these are hard. Now if you want to make them harder, you would extend the leg. So when we get into bicycling later, you want to make sure that you're not wobbling and losing that connection. So that's why we're doing here. And let's bring the legs down and just release, relax through the lower back here. Okay, now we're going to come into a bridge position, which is like a plank, but this is easier to start with. And you want hips, knees, toes apart, engage through the rectum and the pelvic floor, and then you're just going to lift up and hold. So a couple things that I see that go off the rails here are people's legs widen up. So you want to make sure you're pretending you're squeezing an imaginary block between the knees, pressing into your heels, lifting through your glutes. Now still being able to breathe into the belly, and exhale, squeezing through the rectum and the pelvic floor. Now we're just keeping things simple today, building on these foundations, so don't worry that the videos get harder, but it's important to have these fundamentals or you will hurt yourself, and I don't want that. I want you to build a nice, strong core. So I'll take this up just a little bit here, but we're working this beautiful transverse abdominis, which is this big piece of muscle wrapped around here that's holding us up. So we can do things like lifting a leg, making sure you stay level with your hips. So something I'll see often is that the hips drop down as we lift the legs. So just play around with that for a moment. And you know, more advanced, you would just hold for longer, then you can start to do other things. And we'll just hold the other leg here. And then coming down. So if you're not ready for any kind of plank position yet, that is something I would suggest you do when we're doing planks, just so that you can start to build some strength through the core. So, you know, look here, plank. We're just doing it up in the air like so. Good. And then we're going to flip on over, and we're going to come into just a nice little stretch, and then that's it. Oh, you know what? I might add one more here. So we're going to come up through here, exhaling. So this is like a curl. Notice this is an ab curl, pulling my ribs to my hip bones so that I don't strain my neck. So a lot of people have neck issues, so this is much gentler on the neck. And exhaling as you come up, really squeezing, opening up through the back. Those feel good. One more here. Nice. And then I'm going to throw in a bonus move, because we do a lot of side planks and side work. So when you come all the way down, and again, we will graduate from here to here to here and higher. But again, you want to have the fundamentals, and this is very easy on the shoulders. Just scoot your hand underneath your ribs here, and you want to make sure they're not pressing into the floor, because then our spine is like a saggy mattress. You want to lift that spine up, lengthen, hand goes on your hip is harder, floor is easier. And we're just going to lift and lower the leg here. So if you find this is too difficult, bend that bottom leg and lift and lower. So what I really want you to focus on is keeping this spine lifted, the front of your body connected, your leg internally rotated, and breathing. And then see how certain things start to disappear. Like sometimes we hold our breath, or we're not squeezing through the rectum and the pelvic floor. So just connecting through there as we start to make these moves more difficult and add in. We're going to do 4 more here. Add in movement. And 3, 2, and 1. Good. You're also going to feel a really nice burn through the side. So let's even ourselves out and go over to the other side. Coming all the way down through here. Remember, we'll go the easiest way. If you're advanced, you can make this harder. Okay, so again, check in, lift the ribs off the ground. Check in with the breathing. You want to have it come into the belly, while when you exhale, squeezing through the root and the pelvic floor. Now, a common mistake I see people make is that the toes will go up and then you end up working this overworked quad. You want those toes down, your femur internally rotated so that you can get a nice long leg. So again, check in, make sure the sides are lifted, your hip is long, and we're going to go for 4 more. You're breathing. 4, 3, 2. Don't worry about if your breathing gets backwards or whatever, just as long as you're breathing, and release coming down. Perfect. So those are some basic fundamental moves that you want to make sure you master so that when we get into more difficult moves, you have trained your body to do the positions that are right, which will help to flatten your belly, tone and slim your core, and reduce any chance of lower back pain and improve pain if it's there. Hope you found those tips helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!